let's talk about the complete joke of. I mean, I guess what we would just call like left wing ID pol or id pol or identity politics. Like the complete joke of it is basically, these people act or think like they're actually like oh, I'm a leftist. I'm a leftist. Literally, half these people. I mean, even the ones who consider themselves class conscious to some degree or another, they would be perfectly content to be ruled by basically a bunch of like like black lesbian transsexual half Jewish woman who went to Harvard. It's like, let's be ruled over by a bunch of by who's that woman who did that law. Let's be ruled over by a bunch of people who went to like Harvard Law. That's literally what it is. Like, let's be ruled over by a bunch of people who went to Harvard Law and Columbia Journalism School, but it's okay because they have a vagina, or it's okay because they what is it? Because they have more melanin. Something along those lines. I mean, it's just hilarious. These people are just such a bunch of posers. These people are posers. Like, I was thinking of Chapo Trap House, like how Chapo Trap House attacked Angela Nagle for basically being like a smart economic leftist. They just viscerally, like, all these little gamma males who look like Steve Bannell, who look like the people in Chapo Trap House, who probably have like this fake class consciousness. Like, they all attack Angela Nagle. It's like, oh, Angela Nagle is racist because she views like people coming across the border as like de facto strike breakers. I mean, like, yeah, they are. Like if someone, that's what's going on. Like, Angela Nagle is smart and she's the real leftist because she, the elephant graph, where it's like basically shows like the effects of globalization, capitalism is basically screwing over like the middle, and to some degree like the upper middle or lower middle, or however you want to quantify this, basically the people who don't hold the means of production, the people who do not own corporations, the people who do not benefit off of other people working, who are living in Western nations. The people who get dumped on for being like implicitly buying into like the white supremacist da 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 da. Meanwhile, the leaders, like the elite leaders, they're all clinking glasses together at the fucking Harvard Club. it's like, but people will go, like, these silly Chapo Trap House listeners who are fake leftists will go after Angela Nagle and be like, oh, like, it's like racist to characterize like people coming over as strike breakers. Like, no, that's exactly what's going on. And it's like, oh man, it's like these people are fakes. These are just what is it? These are also, yeah, that brings me to another interesting note, which is notice how little left wing, like gamma males, like they love to attack women. Like, some of the most like vitriolic, like intense, like sexism that I've seen has come from like left wing men attacking like females who they perceive as as right leaning or reactionary or whatever. But anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is I don't know what the point I was trying to make is. Clown world, that's the point. The point is that, it's the elephant chart. It's the elephant graph, basically. And so the people who have benefited least, the people who have benefited the least from capitalism, globalism, etc., is basically like the American middle class, whatever that is, or like basically the middle of American society. And those are the people who constantly get like the most like identity politics, like abuse and scorn often heaped upon them. So it's like, isn't that funny? And then it's like, oh, like you whiny piss baby, like what about all the starving people in the world? Like what about all the women? What about all the racism? And what about, and it's like, okay, like a black woman at Harvard Law is or whatever, like, or not even Harvard Law, like, let's say I was studying sociology at Yale, like I was a sociology undergrad at Yale, all right, your life is a million times better than the people who are in like the dip of the elephant graph, than the people who are the losers of like global capitalism, basically, right? Because you will be kept aloft and you'll have kind of like, you'll have these fake jobs, like you can have like these fake journalism jobs, you know, your friends will get these jobs, etc. Meanwhile, the middle is left out to rot, and then has abuse heaped upon them. I forget any sort of like class solidarity. These people technically are workers, you know, the people who are benefiting from the mean. Okay, so what's interesting is like Marx was talking about, I guess, a society where he had like a very materialist analysis, right? So it was like you have like labor or workers, and then there's like the labor elite. So that would be someone like I guess like a lawyer or a doctor or something like that, where you're still technically like part labor, like you're not an owner of the means of production, but it's like you're like towards the higher end of that, I guess, in terms of skills, in terms of income, etc. And then you have like the owners of the means of production. But I feel like there's almost like this new class of like people who are like, it's like fake jobs, you know, people like me, basically, people who work at non-profits, people who are completely like kept aloft and afloat in these fake jobs, getting paid way too much simply based on connections. And it's just fucking mind-boggling. It's like, and then these people, you know, just love to take a giant dump at every opportunity on, what do you call it? On like the people who are losing out on the elephant graph, and they attack them with the whole ID Paul, with the id Paul stuff. It's so, it's just so perfect. It's so perfect. Honest to God. So many of these people, even the ones who think that they're economic leftists, like they're frauds. They're all just frauds. The only, dude, it's so funny. I mean, you just can't help but just, you know, it's like, it's beyond even the point of like, of indignation. It's just silly. It's just silly. I mean, come on, just open your eyes, people. Like it's not that hard to figure out what's going on. Like, I'm dumb. I'm 90 IQ. Like, and I can see what's going on. I mean, come on.